Hello, and what is up, everybody? It's me, Marty the Meatman here, your host of Cross Court Coverage, your all-NBA Celtics-focused podcast, proudly brought to you by, proudly in partnership with Boston Sports Zone Network. Shout out to BSZ. That is where we are streaming live on YouTube. That is where you can find this content and content for all four major sports in Boston. That's right. You have Patriots coverage, you have Red Sox coverage, you have Bruins coverage, and you have the Celtics right here, baby. So be sure to check out the network. Also, have to give a shout out to partner of the show, LongShotsUSA.com. That is LongShotsUSA.com. Go check out the site. Go get your own personal shot ski. Handmade, handcrafted, made solely in America, single owner, single operator, quality stuff. You got to check it out. If you have the need to do a shot with 6 people and you need an apparatus for it, check out the link. That's how you can do it. It's St. Patrick's Day. It makes sense today to go check out LongShotsUSA.com. And last but certainly not least, also check out the merch store, cross-court-coverage-shop.fourthwall.com. If you follow that link, it will take you to our beautiful merch website. Still have to add the YouTube page on there, but we do have some beautiful merch for y'all to explore. Stickers, cups, shirts and hoodies, some different hats. I actually have some of it here. It finally arrived, so let me just move the screen over real quick. Dad hats, got them. Beanies, got them. Snapbacks, got them. There's a shirt and a hoodie over there. Check out the merch store. Support the brand. Rep the show. Like I always say, it's not about a profit. It's just about, marketing and putting cross-court coverage out there to the world. So be sure to check out the shop. Maybe grab something. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day to not only the Celtics fans, not only to the Irish, but to everyone out there. Happy St. Paddy's Day. It is an Irish holiday, and this is the Boston Celtics. Today, we can call them the Boston Celtics, if you will. I'm happy to talk about basketball. I'm happy to be wearing my green. Nobody pinched me today. So, as always, there's a whole bunch of news and headlines from around the league that we have to dive into. Then we'll talk some C's basketball. So let's get into the news and headlines from around the league. First and foremost, we need to talk about last week, right after this show aired, NBA history was made. Shout out to Bam Adebayo and his 83-point game. Crazy. He is now the second highest scoring player in a single game, second only to Wilt Chamberlain's mythical 100-point game, second above Kobe Bryant's 81-point game. Shout out to Ian. What up, man? As always, if you're in the chat, if you're watching, if you're listening, feel free to, pop in there and say something. I will do my best to get you up there, and I will do my best to read it out loud for our audio listeners. Again, audio is a hard thing for me to vocalize. But yeah, Bam Adebayo. So I'm watching the C's game last Tuesday, and I see a little blurb come up at halftime. Oh, Bam has 40 points at halftime. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Good for Bam. And then literally somewhere in the fourth quarter, it might have been the start of the fourth, it might have been midway through the fourth of the Celtics game, they cut our game away so that we could watch history happen. So that was pretty cool. There's a lot of discourse around what Bam did or how Bam got those 83 points. Let's not, the people who are like, oh, stat padding, or oh, he got it all through foul shots. Let's break it down for you. Let's do some numbers for you so that we can really analyze what you're trying to say here. Bam shot 20 for 43 from the field. That's 47%. He shot 7 for 22 from beyond the arc, so that's 32% from the three-point line. He's not really a three-point shooter. I mean, he has it in his game, obviously, but that's not his bread and butter. And then, yes, he was 36 for 43 from the foul line, 84% from the foul line. He also tallied 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He also had 5 turnovers. So, like, yes, Bam had the ball in his hands. Yes, Bam was... Let's put it in perspective. In the first half, Bam was playing like normal basketball. And that you can't take that away from him. 40 points in the first half, that's crazy. Once you hit 40 points in the first half, you're thinking about it. You're going, well, I did it in half a game. I scored 40 in the first half. Why can't I score 40 in the second half? I don't know. Bam put that to the test. And not only did Bam put that to the test, shout out to the Wizards, who ended up doubling and tripling and continuously fouling him. You don't want to send the guy to the line. You don't want the guy to put 83 on your head top. Don't foul him. Like, you're better off just standing back and just kind of contesting a shot. You don't need to foul. You don't need a triple team. You don't need a double team. I won't let people take this away from Bam because this is a special night for him. This is a special night for basketball. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, all foul shots. It's not that real. It's not that... But look, we haven't seen footage. We haven't seen 1 second of footage from the Wilt Chamberlain game, but we have footage of him in high school. We have photos of him throughout his time in the league, and we all believe in the Wilt Chamberlain 100-point game. But I'm not taking that away from Wilt. I'm not a Wilt denier. I believe Wilt got 100 points in a game. He was playing against plumbers and everyday blue-collar guys. Like, there's always going to be a quote-unquote asterisk or caveat to one of these guys scoring a legendary game like this. So, shout out to Bam. 83 points in an NBA game is insane. If you're mad about it, blame the Wizards. It's not Bam's fault. He just went off and did what he had to do. So, history was made on the same night we went live for the first time. So, I'm just saying, I mean, like, the show started, the Celtics won a championship. The show goes live for the first time, Bam breaks a scoring record. Coincidence or the cross-court coverage effect? I'll let you be the judge. Next headline, Steph Curry will continue to miss time. He's expected to be back around March the 23rd. So far, he has missed 17 consecutive games. He's scheduled to miss 20 if he does return on the 23rd. And I don't know. I mean, it's been setback after setback with this knee for Steph Curry. Right now, the Warriors are 5-12 in his absence. They are sitting at 9? Yeah, the 9 seed in the West. Not ideal. You're without Jimmy. You're without Steph Curry, and you're struggling, and it shows. And I don't think that Al Horford or Kristaps Porzingis are going to be your savior in these trying times. I just don't. And while I can admire Steph Curry and his talent and everything that he brings to the team, and it's clear that, the absence of him is creating a problem for the Golden State Warriors, I also don't care. As you can see, I'm surrounded by Celtics memorabilia and merch and such, and I am a homer. And 2022 championship forever stings. So, sorry, Steph. Sorry, Golden State Warriors fans. Sorry, Steve Kerr. Not my kid, not my problem. Next headline. Ooh, a little bit of Boston news. The Boston Celtics are signing two-way Max Shulga to a standard 2-year contract. He was pick number 57 in last year's draft. He has been playing in the G League, where he's been doing relatively well. He's played, I think, 13 games total in the G League, averaging 14.8 points. Wow, their score bug is weird. 14.8 points, 4.6 rebounds, 5.7 assists, 1.2 steals, and half a block. Like, solid bench guy. He's going to be a solid development piece. Everyone that's come from Maine to the Celtics usually has a positive trajectory. They take off. Look at Jordan Walsh. Look at Baylor Shireman. Look at Sam Hauser. Look at Luke Cornett. You know, it's no doubt in my mind that Brad Stevens sees something very good and talented and worth putting him on the roster for the rest of the season and the next 2 years going forward. And maybe, you know, we'll get some end of the season minutes for Max Shulga. Maybe we'll see some playoff Shulga. I don't know. But I'm not Brad, and I'm not paid the big bucks to figure that out. So I'm just going to tune in and watch and be excited for the young guy to get his chance. Next headline, the Sacramento Kings are signing guard Killian Hayes. And if you hear that name and you go, oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that's because he was the number 7 pick in 2020. 6 years later, he finally gets a real deal with another team. I know the Nets kind of signed him last year, but I think he only played like 6 games with them. He had 2 10-day contracts with the Kings this year, and now he lands a full deal. Shout out Killian Hayes, I suppose, on the basement-dwelling Kings signing you. They're someone who's willing to take, you know, the dart throw and see if something will stick to the board. Sure, go for it. This is one of those, like, crazy fall from graces where you just see, like, a player who's, he's only 24 years old. He's got 6 years in the NBA, and he's averaging 8 points per game, 2.9 rebounds, 5.1 assists, shooting a meager 38% from the field. Like, yikes. I don't know what the Pistons were doing when they drafted him back in 2020. I kind of understand what the Kings are doing signing him now, but neither here nor there. An interesting headline nonetheless. The next one, slightly more interesting, slightly more big news for the league. So the NBA will officially hold a vote at the Board of Governors meeting on March 24th and 25th. They're exploring adding 2 expansion teams. Right now it's Las Vegas and Seattle, who are the targeted cities. They're targeting a 2028-2029 rollout, so 2 years from now. They, you know, have momentum right now. There's stakeholders. There's people who want to put bids in on buying a team to put them in the NBA, to put Seattle back in the NBA and bring a team to Vegas for the first time, to expand the league to 32 teams, which is interesting. They're looking for around, this is crazy. They're looking for around $7 to $10 billion to get these franchises off the ground. The Celtics just sold for $6.1 billion, and you're telling me that these new teams are automatically worth more? Bizarre, but sure. They kind of went like, oh, let's go a little bit above what the Celtics sold for and a little bit under what the Lakers sold for, and then that's how we'll get 2 new teams. Sure. Okay, bud. But it is exciting. It is exciting to see expansion in the NBA. It is exciting to see the possibility of a return of basketball to Seattle. The Supersonics were one hell of a team. Shout out Ray Allen. Shout out Kevin Durant. Also, shout out Oklahoma City, because they've put their hand up and said, we will do right by Seattle. If Seattle is given a team again, all the history of the Seattle Supersonics will go back to the Seattle Supersonics of new. All the old history, all the records, all the success, everything like that, the OKC will scrub their name of it and say, hey, that was your team. Those are your accolades. Good on you. Unlike the Lakers, who claim they have 5 championships from Minneapolis. There are no lakes in California, but you want to be the LA Lakers and steal some thunder away from Minnesota and their right to have 5 titles. Good on Oklahoma City. Poo-poo on the Lakers. It's always poo-poo on the Lakers. Fuck LA. Speaking of Minnesota, well, I shouldn't have came up so happy with that. Speaking of Minnesota, Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards will be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks due to knee inflammation. Um, Never a good sign when your superstar's out for an extended period of time. Never a good sign when it's right before the playoffs. But 1 to 2 weeks shouldn't be too bad. And also, unlike the Warriors and other teams who seem to struggle when their superstar has been missing, the Wolves have done quite well, quite decent, quite well, in absence of Anthony Edwards this year. I mean, it's only been 10 games. Overall, they are 6-4 without him in the roster. But the offense has put up around 118 points per game with Anthony Edwards out of the lineup. So they don't necessarily struggle. They don't necessarily succeed, but they can stay afloat. And as a team who is sitting at currently the 6th seed in the NBA in the Western Conference, you're going to want to stay afloat. You're not going to want to dip down into a play-in team. You're going to want to stay at 6. So as long as they can, toe the line and stay right where they are, I don't think that the absence of Anthony Edwards is going to be such a negative effect on the team. But we'll have to wait and see. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will be a big absence and it will cause some problems for their playoff seeding. But we're yet to see, and we'll figure it out when we get there. Last headline for this week, another injury. Milwaukee Bucks' Giannis Antetokounmpo has been diagnosed with left knee hyperextension and a bone bruise and is set to be reevaluated in a week. This sucks. I'm not much of a Giannis fan, I'll tell you that much. But it sucks in the sense that the Bucks have been trying. After, the injury that Giannis sustained earlier in the season and the trials and tribulations of will he be traded, will he not be traded, what's going to happen to Giannis. The Bucks have been 11-20 without Giannis in the roster. They have been a losing team when he is not playing for them. And that does not bode well sitting at the 11 seed in the East with mathematical elimination creeping up on them. They're trying to squeak in a play-in run. They're trying to do anything they can to be a contender. And it's not working. And Giannis being out for the next week is definitely going to be another situation where, I don't know, I think this could be detrimental to their success. I think it could be detrimental to their standings in the end of the year. I think it will be detrimental to any playoff hopes. So there's a good chance that we go into this year's playoffs without Giannis, without the Bucks, without Doc Rivers. And then what does that mean in the offseason? Does that mean because they couldn't make the playoffs without him, Giannis walks or wants to be traded or whatever? Does it mean Doc gets fired? Does it mean the GM gets fired? Milwaukee is a dumpster fire, and while I'm not here to clown on anyone's misfortunes, I am eating popcorn at the parade. I am sitting at the funeral of the Bucks, popping a kernel or two. But that'll do it for. Oh, no, actually, no, it won't. We have 2 more headlines that I forgot to bring up. Since we've been talking about playoffs, since we've been talking about seeding, Oklahoma City has the chance to be the first team this year to clinch a playoff berth. They will officially clinch a playoff berth tonight if they win or if there is a loss by either Phoenix or Denver. And they will officially clinch their division if they win and Denver and Minnesota lose. So, former champs will be the first team, probably, more likely than not. They're on an 8-game win streak. They're playing the Orlando Magic, who just lost to Atlanta last night on what should have been Magic City night, but it wasn't. T.I. still performed, and I believe there was still some Magic City merch floating around, so Adam Silver doesn't always get his way. But shout out to the Thunder for being the first team to punch their ticket this year. And then truly the last headline, and last but not least, Russell Westbrook is now set to clinch a probably top 5, maybe. Probably top 5. He needs 2 assists to pass Mark Jackson, and 3 assists to pass Steve Nash on the all-time assist leaderboard. That's awesome. I love Russell Westbrook. I've always loved Russell Westbrook and his game. And, it's been a weird last few years for him. Obviously, he's not MVP caliber Russ. He's not, build a franchise around Russ. He's really sometimes Westbrook, very double-edged sword. You live and die by the Westbrook. You can lose a game because of Russ. He can also win you games. And when he's on the Kings right now, so them winning games because of Russ actually isn't good for them. But they're keeping him going. They're keeping him active, and he's set to make some history probably later tonight. So shout out to Russ for that. And that'll do it for news and headlines from around the league. And now we have to talk about the team of the hour. The green team, as some people call it. I don't, but whatever. The Celtics went 2-2 in their last 4 games. I said they'd go 3-1. I was wrong, mostly because JB got ejected in the game, and that really changed the whole course of everything, but neither here nor there. The Celtics are currently sitting at 45-23 as their record. They are second in the East, only 3.5 games behind the Detroit Pistons. They've had continued success in the return of Tatum. The Jays, they got 2 Jays and 0 problems. That's the reality of it. Is people were like, oh, well, whose team is it when Jason Tatum comes back? Guess what? Both of theirs. Guess what? Winning. Guess what? Success. The haters will always say split up the Jays, or say that they can't coexist, or say that one has to thrive and the other can't. I'm here to tell you that's flat fucking wrong. The Jays coexist quite well. They have their own gravity. They have their own play styles, and both of them have seen success in Tatum's return. Unfortunately, the first 2 games I'm going to talk about don't really highlight that. They don't really paint the picture of success because they were losses, but whatever. The first game I want to talk about was in San Antonio against the Spurs. Celtics lose that game 125-116. Jaylen Brown was ejected from the game. He got a double tech. He got 1 technical for arguing with the ref, and then he made a gesture. He pointed and yelled at the guy, but he made a gesture, an aggressive gesture towards the official, and got his ass thrown out. So he didn't get to play the full game, and it probably hurt us in the long run. Even so, it was a back and forth game. It was close throughout. It wasn't until probably midway through the fourth quarter where the Spurs kind of pulled away, but they still had a little bit of a comeback at the end of the game. That Celtics, that is. 10 lead changes in total. Celtics did what they could without JB. And, what did he play? 15 minutes total? That's crazy. Made Derek White play 40. But yeah, in this game, Jaylen Brown only had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal before being ejected. Jason Tatum had 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Sam Hauser, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Nemi with a low night, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Derek White putting in his work, 34 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and a block. And then coming off the bench, you had Ron Harper Jr. with 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. And you got to love that because obviously Ron Harper Jr., brother to Dylan Harper being a first-round pick, Ron Harper Jr. being a G League guy who's now gotten the blessing from the Celtics to be on the roster. It's a feel-good story. You see him battling with his brother, and anyone who has a brother or anyone who has competitive family members knows, sometimes they bring out the best of you. It's clear here, Ron Harper coming off the bench and scoring 22 points. That's awesome. But then moving over to the team stats, you have the Celtics getting out-rebounded 44-37. The Celtics did have fewer turnovers. We had 8. They had 12. But they also just beat us shooting wise. From the field, we shot 47%. The Spurs shot 52%. From beyond the arc, the Celtics only shot 37%, and the Spurs shot 43%. So it was a battle. It was an up and down game. We contended. We held our own. Everyone says, oh, the Celtics struggle against Western teams. We didn't struggle. We were denied one of our superstars because of a angry referee, and still kept it competitive. So I don't want to hear Celtics struggle against the West anymore. Although the next game I'm going to talk about happens to be against another Western team, and we did lose. But we got reffed again. The Celtics go to Oklahoma City. They play the Thunder. They play the former champs. And they lose this game 104-102. A battle, a slog, a full-blown back and forth, up and down, left and right kind of game where it came down to the last shot. And it ended up coming down to SGA free throws. Now, I'm not one of those people who's going to say, oh, SGA is only good because he gets the whistle. But I will say the only reason that the Oklahoma City Thunder won this game was because SGA got the whistle. There's a difference there. It's a very minute, fine line difference, but there is a difference there. But yeah, 19 lead changes in this game. The Celtics fought as hard as they could. They end up getting reffed in the end. But they put up a fight. And that's all you can ask for. And again, I'm not mad about losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder by 2 points in a regular season game. It just shows me that we can go 7 games with OKC. And so long as the refs can swallow their whistle every once in a while, we might stand a chance. Just in case that's a championship, preview for everybody. But in this game, we had Jaylen Brown with 34 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. You did have Jason Tatum sit out this game. That is most likely because Lou Dort is a dirty defender. And they did not want him being undercut. Jason, that is. They did not want the, kick out that Lou Dort always pulls off under shooters to happen to Jason Tatum. So they sat him for a little bit of rest. They called it, maintenance on the Achilles. I'm totally fine with it. I don't want to see him hurt again. And this was a way to avoid that. So, no JT in this game. JB still carried his own. We also had Peyton Pritchard with 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Baylor Shireman had 11 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. You had Hugo Gonzalez with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block. You had, who else? No Derek White in this game. I forgot about that. There's no Derek White. There's no Jason Tatum. And you have a starting lineup of Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Neemias Queta, Sam Hauser, Baylor Shireman. And the only other players to play are Luka Garza, Ron Harper, Jordan Walsh, and Hugo Gonzalez. And you lose to the Thunder by 2. I'm okay. I feel good with that. I am fine with the Celtics losing in a game where the ref blows his whistle and gives SGA some foul shots in the end so they can take it away. When you're running out there with Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, and the Maine Celtics. Don't get me wrong. I love the Maine Celtics. But they have no business competing against the Thunder. And yet they did. While being led by JB. But still. I don't even need to go into the team stats on this one. We know how it went. We knew what happened. We move on. The next game, we move back in the W column. We put another win in our books. We come home and we play against the Washington Wizards. Yes, the basement-dwelling Washington Wizards. Yes, the Washington Wizards that just let Bam put 83 points on their head tops. I don't care. A win is a win, and we needed it after 2 losses. Celtics win this game 111-100. Not really a doubt in this game. The first quarter, Washington kind of seemed like they were going to give us a little bit of a game. And then we ran away with it for the next 3 quarters. So Nothing crazy there. In the box score, the player stats wise, we had Jason Tatum get 20 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Again, nearly triple-doubling. I'm waiting for the moment that Jason Tatum hits his first triple-double of the season because it's going to hit like lemonade on a summer day. That shit's going to smack. Sam Hauser had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Neemias Queta put up 24 points. Leading scorer Neemias Queta had 24 points, 10 rebounds, gets himself a double-double, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Derek White had 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, getting stocks after stocks after stocks, as Derek White does. And then Jaylen Brown, our last starter, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. Coming off the bench, most notable performance was Luka Garza with 15 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. And the Celtics just, they did what they had to do. They took 2 losses in a row, saw a basement-dwelling team, and, beat the crap out of them. You got to do that. Sometimes you just got to get right by beating up on a bad team. Celtics out-rebound the Wizards 55-38. Both teams did have 15 turnovers. Both teams shot 44% from the field. And the Celtics had a bad night from beyond the arc. And normally it's live and die by the 3. We shot 26% from the 3-point line, while Washington shot 38%. But it's Washington. And yet, not hitting those 3-pointers didn't seem to affect us. We still got an 11-point win. And we move back the momentum in a positive direction. So we take that win, we roll it into the next game, and we play a game against the Phoenix Suns. So yes, the Celtics struggle, quote unquote, against the West. How will they do against the Suns after losing to OKC and losing to the Spurs? Well, the Celtics win this game. They win this game 120-112. They win it despite a Devin Booker 40-piece because Jaylen Brown himself has a 41-piece. It was a battle. I'll give him that. Throughout the game, swings left and right. Could have been anyone's game, but the Celtics squeak it out in the end, and I am ecstatic about it. Like I said, Jaylen Brown had 41 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Jason Tatum had 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. Derek White, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Stocks on stocks on stocks. Neemias Queta, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. And then coming off the bench, Peyton Pritchard had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. The Celtics did what they had to do. They get 2 W's this week. Wish it was 3. I wish it was 3, but we get 2, and that's fine. And I got asterisks next to those losses, all right? I'm the kind of guy that'll put an asterisk on an L. Why? Because I'm a homer. I don't care. We got bailed out, or the Thunder got bailed out by the refs, and then the refs ejected Jaylen Brown in the Spurs game. So, look, we could have won either of those games. We could have won both those games if that didn't happen, but whatever. Team stats in this game, Celtics out-rebound the Suns 38-35. We did have more turnovers. We had 14. They had 10. Shooting-wise, we beat them in both categories. We shot 49% from the field while they shot 45%. And we shot 43% beyond the arc while they shot 32%. So, you'll love to see it. We could have won probably 2 more games, but whatever. It's fine. Who cares? There is a fun fact, though, because of Jaylen's 41-point game. He is now one of, I believe it's 4, maybe 5 Celtics. Let me pull up the fun fact real quick for you. One of 4 people on the Boston Celtics. In this storied, historic franchise, this team of superstars and Hall of Famers left and right. The only Celtics to have 6 40-point games in a season are Jaylen Brown this year, Jason Tatum, Paul Pierce, and then Larry Bird did it 5 times. Because Larry's different. But that's an exclusive club to be in. That is some names to put your name up next to. So shout out to Jaylen Brown on that. I also saw another statistic, and I probably don't have it here, but Derek White officially has at least 75 steals and 75 blocks on the season. He is the first Celtic to do that since Kevin Garnett in the 08 season. And I love Kevin Garnett, and he's a beast, and he was a defensive mastermind. But Derek White is a shooting guard. So put that into perspective. Derek White has 75 blocks, 75 plus blocks, and 75 plus steals on this season. The fact that Derek White is not an all-star year in and year out pains me. You want to see defense? You want to see a gritty all-star game? Put Derek White in the goddamn contest. Please. I digress. Just some fun facts around the league for us. But coming up, games on the schedule. Tomorrow we play Golden State Warriors. They will be without Steph Curry, so I'm hoping that's a big fat W for the boys. Friday, they are in Memphis against a tanking Memphis Grizzlies team, so probably 2 W's there. And then Sunday, we face off against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who will likely be without Anthony Edwards. Ladies and gentlemen, I am predicting a sweep on the week. That is right, 3 W's for 3 games. Told you all year I wasn't doing predictions, and here I am. You get a camera in my face, and I'm giving you numbers. But that is the Celtics update for the week. That is your news and headlines from around the league, and the only thing left to do is sign this son of a bitch off. So, as always and forever and always, I am Marty the Meatman. You are the wonderful, amazing, and I am oh so grateful for you, viewers and listeners. Together we are cross-court coverage. The Celtics are sitting at 45-23, second in the Eastern Conference, with the time left in the regular season dwindling down. Damn near over. And the playoffs are damn near upon us. And so, as we watch the Celtics try to get that 1 seed, which they don't have to do, but it'd be nice. As we see them battle for that 1 seed and then go into a playoff push, there's only one thing and one thing only to scream at the top of your lungs. And it is, go Celtics or go fuck yourself. Peace.